Titanfall. If you're familiar, then a few things will come to mind. Fast-paced shooting, wall running, titans, guns. The state of balance for all of Titanfall 2's guns is questionable, to say the least. However, in general, the weapons are fine. You may want to slam your skull into a concrete wall over and over when you get beamed from across the map by a scarily accurate vault user, but for the most part, it's what you're used to. But I'm going to tell you there's something that stands out from among the others, that gives you an edge in almost every interaction, and that's grenades. Everybody has them, but very few people use them. Each grenade has a specific function that, if utilised well, can give you an advantage in any circumstance. Knowing which nade's the best for you, for your playstyle, is crucial, since not using them is effectively the same as actively shooting yourself in the foot. Starting off with the frag grenade. The one that goes boom and kills shit. My personal favourite. The frag grenade is a consistent and easy to predict arc when thrown, the timer telling you how far it will go, and you can tell this from the beep. Meaning, your grenades usually go where you want them to. And if you get good enough at this, it means there's literally nothing that can stop you. Popping out of phase with a half-cooked grenade should be the enemy's worst nightmare, since when you get good enough with it, enemies won't really want to be there when you're holding your grenade out. A perfectly timed frag is one of the most satisfying things in the game, since an enemy can be so confident he's about to kill you. Then, boom. Secondly, and arguably in its own way, just as good as the frag, we have the Gravity Star. Instead of raw kill potential through the use of frags, you gain movement. The best feature about the Gravity Star is it allows you to effortlessly travel across the map in moments. If you time your jumps right, using the explosions of your Grav Stars to propel you forwards, giving you insane movement. Effectively a second stim if done correctly, with just a few moments of setup. Additionally, if you're feeling just a little bit toxic, you can use your Gravity Stars to trap enemy pilots, leaving them an easy kill, since you can move and they can't. But just remember, just because they can't move doesn't mean they can't shoot you. This insane movement at will just brings a whole new dimension to Titanfall, which is why it's my most enjoyable utility to run. It's not as strong as frags, but it's helpful. When I started using them, I hated giving them up, because you have that ridiculous movement from stim or grapple, but you're playing phase, and you can get in someone's face without them even realising, then phasing out before their team's any the wiser. It's great. The rest of the grenades are a little more niche. They still have their uses, however, compared to the first two, in my opinion, they're not as useful. For example, Firestars and Arc grenades. They're interesting, because while they can't compete with the Frag and Gravity Star, the Arc and Firestar have a different playstyle altogether. Instead of charging then releasing like the Frag, or throwing then setting up like the Gravity Star, the Firestar and the Arc grenades set you up for the kills, or confirm. It means you rely on your guns more, but the use of the grenades to give you an edge in almost every engagement, since there are moments when it won't work to just chuck it and see what happens. The main difference between these and the Frag is that you can pull them out whenever you want, meaning you don't have to wait. The best strategy for the Arc grenades is to chuck it near one of your enemies, slowing them, to then perform a hit and run, stunning them with the grenade and finishing them quickly while they're immobilized, then move on. While the Firestar has the potential to clean up kills, but if you connect the Firestar with an enemy, they will die. The skill in this is far higher than the Frag, since you need to hit and connect with the enemy. It's not like the Frag, it doesn't explode, so you have to hit it or you'll die. It's this somewhat risk versus reward. Miss, and you've just wasted a couple seconds doing nothing. But if you hit it, they're dead. The choice is yours. Now, far worse to say the least, Satchels. They can be used in two ways. Traps, where you place down two and wait for a kind little pilot to run into your loving arms. Or you toss your satchels at the nearest Titan to a good chunk of damage. Personally, I find neither of these strategies particularly rewarding. Using the satchels means you have to play incredibly passively, in a high-speed FPS, which is not fun. Being aggressive with satchels rarely pays off due to the long arm time, meaning you can't just toss them like frags to get easy kills. Meaning you're punished instantly, since you can't really get kills unless you bait people into the traps or they're standing still. I don't really have much more to say. It's one of the worst options against pilots, but not the worst. Lastly, electric smoke. Probably the worst against pilots, due to their high maneuverability and abundance of escape options. I quite literally only got this clip of me getting a kill with it in over 3 hours of collecting clips. It serves as inefficient cover if you want to attempt to use it, similar to that as a smoke grenade from other games. It's not good. However, where this grenade shines most is in attrition. In attrition, you have to kill enemy pilots, grunts, and other AI-controlled enemies to get points for your team. The first to 650 wins. The enemy grunts, spectres, and prowlers all drop in pods to spawn, meaning they're all grouped up in one place. Coming across one of these when you have electric smoke is the only time you're thankful you're running this grenade. Dropping one of these grenades on top of a pod as it's opening effectively guarantees your team gets every single point from that drop, quickly putting your team ahead in the long run. It's util. It can be utilised, but in any game mode that isn't killing AI related, this is the worst choice by far. Grenades are underutilised. Make sure you can make the most of what you have, it's important. There are so many situations where I would have lost conflicts if I didn't have frags or arc grenades. Just don't underestimate something that explodes. And with that, have a nice day. I'll see you in the next one.